Hello, everyone. A lot of people here. I hope you hear me well. And, oh, thank you. So today I'm here to tell you about a completely different thing, not about CV. I will tell you about managing data scientists and the things you will meet on this way, such as uncertainty, AGI, and sandfrogs. I will tell you about it later, I promise. So why am I here and why am I telling you this? I have around 10 years of experience in IT, and last 6 years I'm working in data science. And also I'm a Master of Sciences in Applied Mathematics and Informatics. It's called computer science in English, sorry. So when I came to my current company, I started to work as a data scientist, and I got promoted, and now I'm a manager. But as you can see from here, I don't have any background in management, and I don't know how to manage people, and I had to figure out a lot of things by myself. And it wasn't easy, because you can read as many books as you want, but you won't read some details that only come with practice. And when you work with data science teams, you learn that sometimes you don't have any promises on results, whether you will make this task or just will come to a conclusion that it's impossible to do it. Sometimes you get the results, but not in the timeline you expect. Sometimes you do research and you see that the experiments fail, and all of this is just a part of the game. But it's not that bad. I will show you the solutions I came to during my path. But before that, let me tell you some background about our work. So I'm managing a team of 3 data specialists. They're different. Some are data analysts, some are more ML engineers, data scientists, like they're very different. And what do we do is that we do different projects for different departments. We just go to different departments and tell them, let's do something to raise more money in your department. And we do that. People are very different, as I told you already, but not only in their skills, but also in their interests, their temperament, and it's a nice challenge to manage such a team. It's actually just 3 people. And this is the pipeline of how do we usually do tasks. It all starts from the idea. Sometimes it comes from us, sometimes from a stakeholder. We go to a stakeholder and we discuss and we design the idea with them. Then we have, like every quarter, we have a so-called strategic session where we pitch the presentation in front of some C-level directors. And if we have managed to do this, we go to working on this task. First, we do data preparation. Then we do research. If it works out, we can launch some tests. And if tests show us that we should continue, we deploy everything we did into production, and probably there is a success. But the problems await at the very beginning. It all starts from the point when we are talking to stakeholders. And there are basically 2 types of stakeholders I've met. Like, some of them believe that we are some sort of data analysts because they know what data analysts do. They do reports, they do data analysis, but, well, we can't do this. And some other people believe that what we do is AI, groundbreaking state-of-the-art technologies. And we can do this too, but honestly, we really miss some good old classical ML tasks, and not every business person knows how to formulate a good ML task. What is the target? What are the variables? How to make it work? And we miss it. And what can we do is, I believe, It's our job to take initiative in talking about tasks that we can solve, about how we can implement machine learning into business. I also have a plan to read a few lectures for people in business about how it works, how to formulate a good ML task, but now it's just a plan, and I hope that when I will finish telling this presentation, I will immediately start working on this series of lectures. I hope this helps. Then we go to a strategic session. And it turns out that we are a very expensive department. Sometimes we will spend more money developing something than we will actually earn from implementing this new feature. Unfortunately, this really happens a lot, and I think half of our tasks stop at this moment. And I don't know a solution to this, honestly. Probably only solution is to carefully estimate the money at the very beginning and to be rational about it. Then we move on and we start working on a task. And here comes data preparation. It usually takes longer than people think. Sometimes I believe people from business believe that we just do ML models all the time, just tuning models or something like this. But honestly, you probably all know that the majority of time we spend working with data, and it is a long process. First, we have to find tables with the data that we will use. Then we have a special department that will make data marts for us. We'll make a task for them. They usually tell us that they don't have time for this right now, and they will plan it for the next sprint or even the sprint after. And then we should wait until there is enough data in this data mart, and only at this moment we can check if the data we got is the right one. It's not always like this. And only at this moment we can do our research or we can start building our models. What can we do here? Stay with me here. It's a complicated idea I have here. So when I see that a data scientist is ready to finish their task, and the task will be finished in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or maybe a month, I go to the department that does data marts for us, and I start working with them, and I start grooming this task with the data scientist, so we can try to load this data. And when our data scientist is free, finally, he already has all the data he needs, and he can start working on models. So work on data first, then he continues to do his previous task, and then he starts developing. It's probably not the best decision, but this is what I've come up to. We can discuss it later if you have something better. And then we go to research. It's not easy to manage, to find balance between research and delivery, because from one side, business wants some results, and we have some deadlines, we promised something, and from other side, sometimes research brings better solutions, obviously. But not only this, it also fuels innovation. It motivates people in my team, and they develop themselves through research, and they become better specialists. So it's also needed. What we can do here is, I believe, we can start developing from trying a baseline approach, something very simple that doesn't require some complicated models. And if it works out, we just find some time for research. And even if the research doesn't bring us any good results, we'll always have a plan B. We can always go with a baseline and provide a good result in a reasonable time. But to be honest, it's not often like this. Usually we just go with plan B. But there is another trouble with research, is that data scientists are a bit like frogs because they like to dig like this, frogs on a GIF. They see like topics for research and they dig into it. Not all the data scientists, but like really good and passionate data scientists in my team, they do this because they're interested in the work they do. There are a lot of reasons to dig into research. For example, sometimes they just do it because they don't have a plan and they think, well, I can spend some more time on research. And sometimes they just tell me, like, it's very necessary to do all these mathematical processes and we can't deliver this feature without it, like, absolutely not. And sometimes they just burn out and it becomes my problem, so I have to dig these frogs before it's too late. I can't find like one solution of this problem. I think it's every time it's unique. It depends on the person. Overall, you have to just be empathetic and attentive. Sometimes you have to tell people like we have some promises. We promise to deliver something to a deadline, and sometimes you just have to go to this person and develop a nice plan with this person, and then to describe it somewhere to make some tasks for the future. And it will motivate this person to work on something new. And sometimes in the end, even if we try, we don't get any results. But it doesn't mean no value for us. Because we can learn something from this experience. And this is what I think we should do. First, we have to document everything while working on a task. And by documenting it, I don't mean like you have to like write everything into Confluence or something. Sometimes it's my job to like decompose a big task into small tasks. So when you open a big task in Jira, you see a lot of subtasks and you can remind yourself of what have been done. And it's really good to write a summary in the end of what we tried to do and why it didn't work. So we want to do this thing again, like in a year. And it's also a good idea to archive some code to keep it in a nice state, well documented, because maybe sometime we will think more about this idea and we will find something new in it. But sometimes we do have results or not. We don't know how to understand if we really did the task, because it is not that easy as you may think, because sometimes you do something but the stakeholders are not happy. There are many reasons why the stakeholders are not happy. Some stakeholders are just never happy. Sometimes it's just they change their mind during our working on this task. I mean, many reasons. So I think at this stage we have to schedule a final meeting with a stakeholder and ask them if it's really the end of the task. Do they want anything else from us? Maybe they want something else. And also, it's a good time to tell others about our results, maybe write some posts about the work we've done, so other departments can read it, and maybe it inspires them to work on some new tasks with us. And sometimes it's not the end because there is a next iteration. The next iteration is maintenance. If you think the task is done, it's not true, because usually the task will be with you until you die, and this is how it works. There are many reasons for maintenance after the task is done. Sometimes the data sources change, you have to fix something. Sometimes there is a data shift and you have to train a new model here. And sometimes just people from business come and say that they want to change some constants, etc. And the solution I see here is you have to just accept it. You have to plan accordingly. When you plan a quarter, You have to plan that sometimes people will be distracted with this maintenance tasks, and it's fine, it's okay. But the last slide is not, it's from like in a different direction. It's about my own pain. Is that since I was a data scientist for a long time, now I have to provide technical solutions as a technical manager, but I myself can't develop in this direction, and I don't have time to code. I do code reviews. I want to help others find technical solutions, but if it will go this way, soon I will be like less professional than people which I manage. Probably, I don't know what to do with this. I have some ideas about what can I do to prevent this problem. For example, probably I should concentrate more on ML system design or something like this. Sometimes I do pet projects in my free time just to remember how to code. Ask me about how to rent an apartment in Belgrade because I have a pet project about that. And if you have any other ideas about what to do in my situation, you can come after the presentation and tell me, and I will be very happy. So, what I wanted to say today, managing data science teams is a lot about uncertainty. You have pressure from business, you have to do something in a deadline. You don't have any promises on results. Sometimes you won't get any result at all, even though we spend a lot of time and money on a task. You have to keep people motivated, and you have to develop them and their skills, and you have to allow them to do research, and you also have to deliver something in time. You also have to keep everyone informed, so everyone in the company knows what you do, what you can do, so they will give you a nice, interesting machine learning task. And these are probably the most interesting points I have mentioned today, to my taste at least. So you have to talk to business about what your team can do, and if you do this, you will have a higher chance of assigning to your team like good, interesting tasks. Then you have to plan a lot of technical integrations in advance if you have to integrate with other teams. When you work on a task, you have to start with a baseline approach first, and then go to research. You have to give people an opportunity to do research, otherwise they will be sad and demotivated. And then you just have to accept uncertainty, even though it probably makes you anxious. That's all. Thank you. Any questions?
I have one.
Okay.
My question is, how you even estimate task, because this point is not data set defined, or even you don't know, you actually have to work with other teams and depend on them.
Yeah,
so,
I ask myself this question often. How do I estimate it?
You don't know how you estimate it.
Yeah, like that's a great question. Honestly, I don't know. I can estimate when we will do like some baseline, because it's simple, and then I can like add, for example, 2 weeks or 1 month for research, and there will be an estimation, something like this.
Okay, so basically you do on the very particular scope on data, so. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes.
Question is, in your view, why you every time have a problem that you need to wait data for a few weeks? Is this because the data is not collected every time, or the data is collected but you don't have access? How do you
We usually do have an access, and we can start working with data right away, but it's like much easier when a special team collects a data mart for you with all the data you need, and it just goes smoothly this way. I don't know.
So you're waiting for a more clear year data or just the same data but in larger?
It's like another team provides us data and ensures its quality. It's more about this. We can collect this data ourselves, but it will require more time. You are right, we can just start working straight away, but there are some pros and cons in here. Вот тут очень много людей, наверное. Sorry, there are a lot of people on one line. Maybe they'll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for your experience. It's given me history to response from your. How long you are in this area? 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much. This for me it's very important that you bring for us very exact meanings, exact advices what to do in this situation. This is great. Let me ask you two questions. Do you know about the book Herding Cats?
I heard about this, but I haven't read it.
Yeah, I recommend this. It's
I think I should,
very
yeah.
nice, but I think the same problem that all of us is geeks that don't like to speak each other and to don't understand ourselves. And this is very important. And what your work is to understand what the problem is inside the society and inside themselves. This is very important. So I recommend you much. It's really good. This is not Portuguese. Thank you very much. Maybe after this, I found several ways to help you. Maybe.
Okay, thank you. You wanted to ask?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for the presentation. That's great.
Thank you.
One real question: do you have frogs? You should have frogs, right? Some of yours.
No, I have like metaphorical frogs in my team, but that's all.
I know that you have some frogs. Okay, question number 2 is so there's a key line in your presentation, but no promises, no timeline, very unpredictable.
Yeah,
Everything
nothing.
is unpredictable. But I'm a manager, right? So if somebody approaches me and say, you know what, is all unexpected, we will do something, we never know when and how, and there's a story about the nuclear bomb in the Soviet Union, like in 1945, the answers built the atomic bomb in like a very short period of time. And the basic outline was like, if you make it in 1 year, you will be the hero of Russia and you get apartments and cars. If you get it in 6 months, you will be hero of the whole country for the next, I don't know, 100 years. If you make it in 2 years, you will be in jail. Right? So you need, so what is the restraint? Like, what's the shortest chunk of work that you do for data scientists for the experiments? Like 1 day, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. How do you make at least rough estimation for the quick experiments in your experience?
I think we measure tasks in quarters. Realistically, quarter is like 3 months, and we can.
That's the smallest chunk, a quarter.
No, I mean we have sprints, 2-week sprints, but usually we can do like a complete one part of a research in 2 weeks, or maybe like 2 parts of a research in 2 weeks. But if we are talking about like completing the whole task, it's usually like we can say like half a quarter, for example, or the whole quarter. Sometimes it's like a year.
That's fine. But to answer the question about the return, the ROI, like the smallest chunk of work is 2 weeks.
I guess, yeah.
So there's no way that you can actually return back in a day and say, you know, it's impossible to return the investment. Like, so you actually need to spend like a whole sprint to figure out the ROI.
I think, yeah, if you want to figure out if there is any value in this task, you need at least a week or 2, because you have to like collect data, analyze it. It's like research in itself. I believe so. I don't know.
That's yeah. I just feel this pain, like from the other side, because I'm very skeptical of putting tasks into data science real, because it's like the big black hole.
Thank you. And
You never know what's going to happen. Yeah, thank you.
There were other questions? Should I answer
I'd,
that?
I'd like to ask, could you provide some example of your feature you delivered or maybe not delivered?
What if we will like go somewhere here and I will tell you and my colleagues will explain to you it in details. Thank you. That's all about questions?
One
More
question, if you
One question.
upstairs.
Upstairs. One question upstairs.
And we're hiding sorry all the time. So I have like a general question. What do you think about like old-fashioned technique for developers like Lean technique, Agile, Scrum, all around that? Is it applicable for data science or not? Is it worth to try? Do you have some opinion here? And like maybe some more modern, like everyone using LLMs for management. You mentioned also summarization, structuring. Looks like it can be somehow help here. What do you think about that?
I'm not the best person to ask about this because I'm like a technical specialist, like with a technical background. But I believe we can use Agile and stuff like this because if you decompose a task and if you have small sprints, if you have small tasks, it really motivates people that they can like change the status of a small task and then the small task is done and it really like grows motivation. So I think yeah, it's applicable.
Thank you.